censorship. This also matters significantly because for all the talk now of Twitter, of the Twitter files, of the censorship and the idiocy that was going on inside, Elon is increasingly making it a regime where he is really the only person who is going to decide. Let's go and put this up there on the screen and why I think it matters. So the Twitter head of trust and safety, the new head, says that the platform is emphasizing moving swiftly to address problematic content, even if it means figuring out some specifics later. So why does that matter? What did we just cover? The capricious nature, no principles, no policies, no, basically an invention based upon the ideological nature of Yoel Roth and Vijay Agade to come up with policies that govern the entire world's, at least, political discourse. And unfortunately, he seems to be moving in that direction. And I don't even know if I prefer either model, because I'm curious what you think. At the end of the day, all these trust and safety councils also, it's bullshit. Like, you know, you can include no one's ever gonna decide. When Facebook tried to do this, Mark Zuckerberg, he created that whole democracy governance board.
They're like,
and then they kicked it back to him. They're like, no, dude, like it's your company. Like you decide whether Trump is on the platform or not.
They're like, well, shit. Fake Supreme Court.
Right, he's like his fake Supreme Court, exactly. And I'm like, look, maybe it's a good thing to just know. It's like, actually it is all in the hands of Elon. Under Jack, it was all in his hands too. You can like it or you can hate it. I think we should change it. But it does show you that the new boss is basically moving in the same direction. Like you may like his current orientation, but you know, one of the things that a lot of people were pointing to, one of the previous leaks that came out after the Twitter files is that almost immediately after Elon took over the platform, they applied the same shadow banning to the Elon jet account, which tracked his private jet. Or, you know, I don't think it's a surprise that the Chappelle video was immediately taken down by the main account that put it out. Luckily, there were other people who ripped it, who put it out there. We were able to put it out on our show, but it does just underscore like the capricious nature of which all of these platforms are being governed, and Elon really moving in that direction. So look, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't know what else that can be done. What I would say is I wish that they would just sit down. Like, I understand you have to run a company, but you need to sit down and publish like a manifesto almost of sorts. You should be like, these are the principles that we believe in. This is how we're gonna govern our platform. But when you move in an ad hoc basis like they are right now, that's how you end up getting Kathy Griffin banned for no reason. Right? You know, comedy is legal now on Twitter. It's like, well, I think it should be. But, you know, but you have to come up with real policies and then enforce them in the future.
Well, and we already know that he basically is operating in exactly the same way that the, you know, one-off, like, based on my own personal inclinations way that Twitter was operating previously, because we've seen that in his decision to keep Alex Jones banned and to ultimately, you know, ban Kanye West as well. I mean, he argued, listen, the things, no one here is defending Nazism. Kanye West, the things he's been saying have been absolutely abhorrent, disgusting. Sharing swastikas is deplorable. However, Musk argued that West sharing an image that included a swastika was a, quote, incitement to violence. We have a lot of Supreme Court First Amendment precedent that says, no, it is not. It's not even close to that. So again, you are just using your own sort of personal decision-making, what offends you, what you think is over the line, versus anything approaching a standard or consistent principle. Incitement to violence is exactly the thing that they tried to use to justify banning Trump from the platform, which also, if you just looked at the tweets, you couldn't argue that they were a direct incitement to violence in the same way that you can't argue that Kanye's tweet was a direct incitement to violence. You can say they're terrible, you can say they're deplorable, you can say they're disgusting. That doesn't mean that it constitutes, under the First Amendment case law, a direct incitement to violence. And again, we've had really clear case law on this front. So if you're a free speech warrior and you're going with the First Amendment, you wouldn't have banned Kanye West. You would have allowed Alex Jones likely back on the platform, and it's because of your own personal views and how those particular acts struck you personally that you ended up making those decisions. And as you know, I'm not a fan of either one of these people. I don't enjoy defending them and their right to speak. But if you are being consistent with your principles, that is the way that Elon would have handled these things.
And let's put the final one up there from Elon himself. He's actually spelled this out about the new Twitter policy is freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach, even on freedom of speech. And the problem was, he's like, negative and hate speech will be max deboosted and demonetized and no ads or other revenue to Twitter. Who decides what's negative? Who decides what's hate? Is it the Elon Jet account? Is it not? We're back, same boss, you know, old boss, same as the new boss. Like, what is happening here? I think it's a massive problem. They need to go back to what they originally said. Otherwise, they're just going to find themselves in the same boat, and you're just going to have as much of a, you know, a complete and total, just you're going to have more capricious decision making. Elon saying Kanye's tweet was an incitement of violence because it made him incite to violence. It's like, dude, that is not what.
That's not the way this
absolutism
works. That's not
actually
the standard.
works. But it is insightful into how exactly they intend on running the platform there, Crystal.
Yeah, I mean, listen, ultimately, there is no private solution to this problem. There's only a public solution to this problem. It is what Macron laid out. It's you have to have some sort of democratic check. The government has to be more involved. At least, you know, listen, the government's far from perfect. We are critics here all the time. But at least you have a process where you can get some sort of transparency, where there is some sort of democratic input, where it is not just solely subject to the whims and personal proclivities of one individual and how they feel on that particular day. So, you know, there have been sort of like competing debates about how to deal with this issue of content moderation in the new digital public square, whether it's at Twitter, whether it's at Facebook or any other property. And one idea was, well, we just need to start new companies that have like better people with better ideology running them. I think we have seen already to this point with Elon at the helm, that model is never going to work. You just can't have this much power. If you accept that these platforms matter, and I think that they do, you cannot consolidate this much power in the hands of any one person or small group of people. It is going to end up being very poorly run and a very bad decision for our democracy.
Well said.
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us, and if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.